Hi, this is Get Real with Chris and Mark. I'm Chris Hill, and this is Mark Frisco. And this is our normal intro.
This is the normal intro.
Normal intro. I'm going to say it every time we do this thing, just so we can be on cue. So we have a guest today, Mark.
We do. We have Miss Patty Sparks, who owns Personalized Touch Catering.
Yes.
And you run the White Rose in Callaway?
Yes.
Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The White Rose is a venue that holds about 499 people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it sure is.
That's
we have
awesome.
a full bar. We just remodeled it and opened in May. We have a bridal suite. We also have about 200 parking spaces.
Oh, wow.
And the whole front has been landscaped and remodeled, so it looks really nice.
You know, Patty, I have to admit, when I heard you were coming on, I Googled the place because Kathy told us, you were going to be on, and the pictures are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you,
I mean, it really, really does. I saw some of the stuff and I was like, it's really like a class act there.
We did a lot of work to that place. We took out 5 or 6 loads of those big truckloads of junk out of there.
My gosh.
And remodeled everything. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the pictures and I was just blown away, honestly. I was like, it's Mark, it's like a beautiful wedding venue or celebration space. I mean,
feel
it's
we have
really
a lack
very, very nice.
of classy, large venues around here
Oh,
in Southern
we
Maryland.
totally do.
There's definitely not many. So,
Not to interject, but I have I spent the last week in Ocean City for the Maryland Realtors convention last week, and they're being appointed president-elect of the state.
Congratulations,
Thank you. I wanted to throw that out there, but it's funny is I wanted to have the installation here, and there's so few venues that can handle that many people. There's so few.
Even the hotels don't have them
They
anymore.
don't have it, yeah.
And the venues we do have are like outside barn venues, and only really inside venues are your firehouses.
Right, right. But when I saw your pictures, and I was just like, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
awesome.
So tell us about your catering.
So I've been in business for over 30 years. I used to work for Northrop Grumman. We were PRB back in the day, and we were bought by Northrop Grumman. I would do catering there actually on the side. My job got really big, and I had to choose which job I wanted.
Yikes.
Which isn't a bad thing. So I chose catering
Good for
and running
you.
my own business. So we've been probably the last 15 years full service catering. I haven't had to eat hot dogs and beans yet, so I'm doing okay. I used to tell my old boss, I said, well, if I have to eat hot dogs and beans to make this work,
There's nothing wrong with good hot dogs and beans. I'm just saying.
I actually like hot dogs and beans, but so far we've done well. I would say our biggest hurdle is employees.
Yeah,
Right
you hear
now.
that all the time. Actually,
Yep.
don't I just heard it today.
Yeah, employees are really hard to find that are
They're out there.
loyal
They
and
just
wanna-
don't want to work.
Yeah. Yes. And I can't give free money.
We
You
might have
to
just found
actually
our
work for it.
topic today.
Yeah, I know. Right, I know. We needed a topic, and there it is.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
but I mean I guess that's a problem for a lot of businesses right now. And it's something that we definitely should talk about. But so what's your specialty?
Well, for the hall right now, we've been running events like comedy shows and a Christmas show. So we do have them on our site that you can come see. Our number one thing is weddings. When COVID hit, we did more to go and drop off, but weddings is our specialty. I would say when we're at a barn wedding, 90% of people pick chicken Chesapeake because it's crab and chicken.
Right.
If you're county, you pick stuffed ham and fried chicken.
Well, there we go.
So it depends on your.
Now we have to have you back.
Yeah, it depends on your where you're from. If I get brides from up the road, it's going to be more elegant foods.
What you
more
trying to
ham.
say?
It's just the grouping.
Yeah.
It's just the grouping.
That's funny.
But I have to admit, the county ones are the best weddings because everyone's comfortable.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell a difference in the atmosphere. They're comfortable. They eat. They're not nervous.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows one another. The ones from up the road are a little more
Reserved.
Yes, a little more
Right.
reserved. I didn't know what word to use for
I
that.
was just throwing it
A
out
little
there.
less
but-
wild, I think she was
Yeah.
trying to
Okay,
say
all
there.
right.
Yeah.
Not as
and
many 10
you don't
ounces.
see
Right.
10 ounce bud there,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
So
That's awesome.
I think you're doing this little thing where you're like we chose the venue. Like
Yes,
that's so
I
cute.
said I do to the venue.
Yeah, that's so
that's
cute.
my catchphrase.
I love it. I love it. They like take a picture of the couple. They
You
chose
did
the
your
venue.
research.
Mhm,
Good
yeah.
job.
So it's really really cute. I thought, and it's really nice to take a picture of them in front of the. By the way, you had the beautiful artwork.
Yes, I did. Actually, we do. I actually take that picture, and when we do their timeline, that's their picture on their timeline.
Nice.
So when we do up their little, because at our site we do everything for them. So we'll do up their timeline and lay out their events for them.
Wow.
We actually have a lead that takes care of them in their bridal suite, like during that
Nice.
day.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
So we have more, like a lot more service.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want that, you don't have to pick it. But we have tons of different dishes and plates, and so no wedding will be the same depending on what you pick.
Now,
Right.
do you still cater outside of your venue as well?
As of right now, I am, because most people book 6 months to a year. But at the end of this year, I stop. And
Okay.
I will only cater. I will be catering at the White Rose, but I also will be catering at the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
They were my mentors in the very beginning when I got my license, and they're a great nonprofit group. And that is my family.
Yeah.
So I always want to be able to help them out and bring back to the community.
Awesome.
A lot of the members there are pretty up in age too.
Right.
So
Good
Well,
stuff.
that's actually really really cool. Like that I mean, and the Elks give back. They're very very involved,
Yes,
right? So and
yes.
you having that connection is kind of nice
yeah,
too.
I used to have a youth group there, which is gone now because all those kids grew up and are moved on. But it's so funny.
Now they're all getting married at your place.
Actually, no, this is no lie, but this is my 4th wedding for one of my
Oh,
youth
no
group.
kidding.
Oh, wow.
And they got married Saturday. I actually got teared up because I've known them
Aw.
ever since they were little. They grew up with my
Yeah.
kids. So it was a really good bond. And when I looked out to the public, there was like 6 of my youth group kids in the audience, and I was like, oh, because they kept
Yeah.
that bond.
Yeah,
So it was great to see.
that makes you feel good.
That's
Yes.
awesome. So.
So I see you got a comedy flyer.
Yes,
you wanna
I
tell
have.
us about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have 3 comedy shows.
Oh wow.
So we have one in October, one in November, and one in December. All different comedy guys.
Oh, cool.
Here, I'll let you have those.
Check these out.
Awesome.
And then we also have a dinner theater with a show and dinner for Christmas.
Very
a Christmas
fun.
show. I'm more rated GPG. You're not going to get really crazy things from me at that
That's good.
location.
Gotcha.
But now some of those comedies, guys, can be a little off the chain.
Right.
But mostly you're going to get rated PG
that's very
from
cool.
me. So
That's very cool.
I'm more of a milk and cookie kind of person.
Right.
So I know I found you on Facebook. That's kind of was one of the spots that I found you at. But where can people find you and find this information?
Well, I have also Elks Lodge, a couple of their
Okay.
dinners here.
Very cool.
Cool.
We also do a thing called Meals of Kindness, which we have people who call in or go on our website and order meals for people who have just lost a loved one or just had a baby or just
Wow.
because. So we actually let them pick meals and we deliver that to them. We have a nice little bag. It's kind of like a gift. Instead of giving flowers, we do those meals.
Okay, hold on. I want to know more about this. So someone's lost a loved one or something like that, and you guys. You actually, so we can
You'll
go
cook
online.
and then deliver. And
Yeah, so say and a lot of companies are doing that.
Yeah.
Like we have companies, instead of sending flowers, do this now.
Okay.
They'll call us, like if a coworker's mom died, they'll call us and ask us to do this delivery. We call them, we set up delivery. Some people will pick their meal for them, or you can let them pick their own meal, and then we deliver it to them. Now, and this is my after
Right.
the youth group, this was my
Yeah.
heart because I like the random
Yeah.
acts of kindness. when we meet these people, we're usually at the very raw stage. So
Right.
when someone calls us, it just happened,
Right.
like in a day or two.
Yeah.
So people are very emotional when we get there. My staff didn't understand it at first because I was the one, I deliver all
Yeah, yeah,
those.
yeah.
Because I want to be the one to deliver
Right,
this.
I get it.
So I let a few of them deliver them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I know what you mean now." And I was
Yeah.
like, "I'm telling you, it's just happened." Now, of course, when you're delivering food to someone who just had a baby, that's a happy moment.
Right.
But most of the moments are not happy.
Yeah.
It's not a happy moment.
That's amazing that you guys do that, and what a good way to do that
Yeah,
locally.
that's what I was thinking. What a great
'Cause,
local thing.
you know, I know we've dropped off
Right.
Chick-fil-A nuggets,
Right.
and edible arrangements.
Well, actually,
and-
it happened because my church would always call me. You know, like church would call and say, "Hey, you know, such and such," because the older crowd is dying off, and
Right.
those are the people who used to do that kind of
Right.
Yeah.
stuff. And there's really, if your neighbor isn't doing it or your family, it's
Right.
like we go to people's homes that don't live here and have no one.
Right.
Like we just went to a lady's house that all her family, she didn't have children. She was up in age. Well, her parents have passed away.
Right.
And a neighbor called us for it, but she has no, I actually wanted to adopt her. But I was like, I felt bad because I'm like, if this woman falls or anything,
She-
or
yeah,
anything
she needs
happens.
some help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love this is why I love doing this, because we get to hear stories like this and stuff like that comes out and you're like, wow, what a great
amazing.
opportunity.
It's
you know?
just hard to market. Like we do Facebook on it, but it's just hard to get it out to the
It'll
public
grow.
to let
It's
people.
word of mouth over
Yeah.
time. It'll grow.
Usually, the
How
people who
far
know
will
me-
you go?
We usually, I'll say 50 miles, but I've gone. Because of course, 7 District is way down. You have to pack a lunch to go to Colton's Point, you know.
That's true.
Or
It's like
Putney
going
Point.
across the bridge.
Yeah.
we
Not
we
quite.
we have gone that far, but we usually stay around 50 miles.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's really very neat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
That that's pretty much it. We have a lot of things that we do in and out of the day. So we have hall rentals. We have there's meals of kindness. We have drop offs, lunches. We do all kinds of like.
So
base
where should we
meals.
check you out?
Well, I do have a website.
Okay.
pt-catering.com.
pt-catering.com. Okay.
And that would be the catering section.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the white rose hall.com, but they're connected. So if you go
Right.
to one,
Okay.
you'll
Get to
end
the
up
other.
getting
So
to the other.
thewhiterosehall.com. Cool.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
that is where you can order Meals of Kindness, check out all the upcoming events, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. you
Well,
sure
Meals of
can.
Kindness would be PT Catering.
Yes, PT Catering is Meals of Kindness.
PT-catering.com.
Dash catering.
And it has its own Facebook page, and then of course the White Rose has a Facebook page, and so does PTC. Yeah, it's actually a really nice concept. The hall has actually done really well. We've already booked quite a few Christmas
That's
jobs
parties,
this
yeah.
year, and
Yeah.
we've got about 10 or 12 on the books for next year. For opening up in May, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty darn good.
That's awesome. Well, it
Well-
just shows you how much of a need there was.
Yeah, right.
So,
Well,
Right.
that and I'm from the county, so
yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps. Yeah, people know who you are.
Yeah.
Well, you're related to half
Half
of
the
the world.
I know the feeling.
That's funny.
So,
Well, if that's that, I mean, unless you have some more to share with
Yeah.
us, that's
Yeah.
really great
Time
stuff.
to jump into our topic, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Patty.
You're
Thanks for
welcome, you're
coming.
welcome.
I'm
We
glad it
appreciate you
worked
coming
out.
by.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice meeting you guys.
All right, nice meeting
See
you
ya.
too. All right, our guest brought up a perfect topic for us to talk about today,
Yeah.
which was, I guess we'll call it like staffing shortages, or for clickbait, where have all the workers gone?
Yeah.
Right?
Lack of people who actually want to work.
Actually want to work,
Yeah.
or do you think that's the problem?
I think that's the problem.
Really?
I think that so many people have an expectation in their head of what working is and what they're going to earn when they work, that they choose not to work. And I think that we have parents that enable that.
Wow.
I'm going to dive right in.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty out there. I mean, I've heard people. You know,
I don't think it's out there.
I don't think I agree with that. I think
Okay.
there's a lot of people out there that maybe. I think it's become easier for people to work from home, right? And so a lot of people, a lot of opportunities, they see that it's easier to work from home.
Yeah.
Right. So they work from home and take a lot of stay-at-home jobs.
Have you interviewed a lot lately?
Honestly, I haven't. Have you?
Yes, a ton.
Okay.
So in multiple businesses, I've interviewed for multiple
Yeah.
positions. And yeah, I'm going to tell you, yeah, you're right. Working from home has interjected itself into an already perfect storm. But again, it's more so about what the person expects and wants and their ability to demand that I only want a work from home job.
Well, right.
But wait a minute. Didn't you just say that you haven't worked in a year and a half?
Mm-hmm.
But I only want to work from home. So I'm going to continue
Right.
to sit at home
I get that.
until I can only work from home. And that is the issue here. It's like people are now really picking and choosing what they want to do. You know, it's funny because I'm starting to kind of contradict myself a little bit from our
Really, Mark.
our higher education, our secondary education
Yeah, okay,
conversation,
gotcha.
because my encouragement was for people to do things that they're passionate about, do what you want to do,
Right.
don't fall into some aimless job.
But now you're telling them they can't stay at home.
Well, I'm saying don't be lazy. You
No,
know,
I mean-
don't sit at home. What I'm saying is you should still pursue what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
But you should still be doing something at the same time. And you never know where those roads are going to lead you. This is such a great topic, by the way, because I was supposed to onboard someone
Yeah.
in a company that I own this morning.
Okay.
Okay? He did
All right.
not show up to the onboarding.
Okay, now I've heard this happening more and more lately. So
Yeah.
for sure I have, yeah.
And here we essentially had to beg him to do a second interview because it was a sales position.
Got it.
And he said, well, I don't think the salary is enough. And it's like, well, the salary isn't a salary. It's a stipend that you get against sales
Right,
that you're
based on your
supposed to
commission or
supersede
whatever, right, yeah.
at some point in time.
We know all about commission sales, right?
And,
Got it.
And so the idea is that you can make an unlimited income with a commission-based job, right?
Right.
And by the way, this is not a real estate commission-based
No,
job.
I get it. I understand what you're saying,
But nonetheless, you know, his response was, well, I don't think that the salary's high enough. So I had to jump on and sell him on, look, if you do this, and this, you know, you're going to make money,
Right.
first and foremost. And then second of all, I had to tell him, listen, not only are you going to get the ability to make money, but what this opportunity is going to give you, it's going to give you the ability to business network.
Right.
Meet every other business owner in the area. It's going to give you the ability to rub elbows with, you know.
But then, Mark, that's you got to have the right person for that, though. Like, that's not for everybody,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
I've been trying to hire this position for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, and I get that. I mean, no, I get it. I mean, it's like not everybody can do,
Yeah.
you know, that
What we
same
do.
sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? I was going
But-
to say that, but I don't want to sound, you know, cocky, but
It's true.
yeah,
You know, it
And-
is what it is. It's,
But I mean, it's interesting because even back in the day when you labor work, or when I worked in years and years ago in construction, you got up every day and you went to work and you did what you needed to do and you did your job,
Right.
and you didn't get paid if you didn't show up,
Yep.
right? And today,
their
I mean,
lives the problem.
yeah, I know, I get it. I mean, it's funny. You can go into a restaurant now, and like I just said this to you earlier. They're like half the seats are empty,
Yeah.
and you're like, and they're like, you need to sit here, here, or here, and you're like, I want to sit over there, and we're like that. Well, we only have like one server for the whole, for the whole place.
Right.
Got plenty of seats. Anybody can sit here and have dinner, but we can't serve you. We don't have enough
And
help.
it's unfortunate that that's the case. But there's plenty of reasons to not do that job, I guess, which is also unfortunate because, quite honestly, I mean, I waited tables for a long time.
Yeah.
I have friends that still do that right now. And, I mean, I have one friend, he's a bartender. He just told me that he's going to make more money this year than he ever has. And,
Right.
most of it is in cash. And
Right.
when you add it up, he's making $60,000 to $70,000 a year in cash.
Right.
Which, when you throw the taxes on top, he's really making a $100,000 salary as a bartender.
Right.
So, I mean, I think, again, it all circles, to me, it all circles back around to the expectation that, I need to get a 4-year degree. When I got my 4-year degree, then I can work a job that's
Right.
going to provide me benefits, and I'm going to make $200,000 a year, whatever.
Right.
And I think that a lot of young people chase that idea. But at the same time, I think that we lack a certain level of work ethic. So
I get that. I think there's probably a little bit of that missing in some form now in some people, right? But I mean, like, there's still people out there that want to get up and go to work, and maybe they're just looking for the right job. I don't know exactly what it is,
Yeah.
but there's something's off, and
look,
something's
maybe
amiss.
it's the pay that's associated with the job. I mean, I think there's plenty of arguments, around whether or not it's, the lower tier jobs are $15 an hour, $17 an hour, $20 an hour, or whatever. I think we've already experienced to some extent that raising the bar on the lower cost per dollar or lower cost per hour jobs, it helps add and aid inflation that in turn just costs you more money. So guess what? Now, yes, you're making $17 instead of $15 an hour on a lower income job, but the same meal at McDonald's that cost you $7 last year costs you $15 now.
Right.
You did nothing. You know? But
No, I mean, and that's a big problem. I think the inflation. That's what inflation is, right? Like that's the definition of inflation.
That's
but if you're not out there working at all, how do you how are they surviving? You think it's a live at home kind of thing, or what do you think it is?
I think there are a lot of people, a lot of young people especially, that still live at home with mom and dad. And I think that there's a lot of enabling that goes on there. Maybe not charging them rent, not making them pay for gas, providing them with a credit card, those types of things. And it gives them the ability to sit instead of seek. And I think that's, people need to get up and they need to go seek. This is a touchy subject for me because of what happened this morning, because the person that I had for this position, I think, has a tremendous amount of potential. I think is the right kind of person for this job.
For the job, right.
But then it makes me wonder, like, where is the motivation?
Right.
And ultimately, it's funny because this is a contract job, right?
Right.
And today, when he doesn't show up, he says, well, it's because I couldn't commit to 40 hours. It's like, look, this is a contract job. Technically, you make your own schedule.
Right.
But the reality is this: if you truly want to, this.
Right.
If you truly want to be successful in sales, you work as much as you possibly can, especially
you
in
work
the
whenever
beginning.
and however you can.
Exactly. Whenever, however you can to get to where you want to go, and that's what it takes to get there. And I don't know where we've lost that.
I don't want to seem like negative Nelly about stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's some of that going on, but I don't think we've lost it. I think there's still. I mean, we're still here. We're still out there. I got to leave here and go to work. You know what I mean? So I get that. And I guess sometimes, including myself, we get to the point where and I know you do this too. It's like there's that line where you're like, I overwork it. You know what I mean? So maybe that's our expectation might be different than other people's too, Mark.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think that the easiest standards to hold people to are your own. Right. And I think that in some cases it's harder to, it's hard for folks to live up to that in some cases, right? But I think that, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. You'll hear me say that a lot on this podcast. But I know that
Mark, wait, we're going to hear you say that you don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Wow.
You're going to hear me say that a lot.
Okay.
But I do know there's a problem.
That's what we do this for. It's like it's the discussion of it, right? Like we want to talk about it. We want to learn more about what the problem is, and maybe we see some light at the end of the tunnel, or hear something that goes, that's probably true, and that's probably why this is the case.
So what do you think?
I still get back to, I think a lot of this is COVID, because we didn't have any of these problems prior to COVID. We didn't have the same situation. I mean, not to this extent, Mark.
Not to the same extent.
And I feel like that has to have something to do with it. And whether it was the handouts that came with it, or it was the the ability to work from home, or whatever those situations were.
I think it's a little of all.
I think it's a little bit of everything. Yeah, and the question is when the handouts stop and inflation goes up, and you don't have the income to live your standard lifestyle that you have right now, things are going to change, and it's going to be a punch in the gut. For a lot of people.
I think it's changing right now.
I think you're right, and. So, I mean, we talked about that too, and we got a couple more minutes. We're seeing it in the housing market right now. You know what I mean? That changes are coming. So
coming.
Changes
have already happened.
I know. Yeah. So, well, look, let's. I guess we'll wrap up here, and hopefully, and what a great episode today. I think it was fun. Right, good topic, and
I want to hear other people's feedback. I want to know: does everybody think I'm crazy? Okay.
I do. No, I'm just kidding. Did it make you feel better, Mark?
No.
I don't. I don't think you're crazy.
No. I mean, I don't. I mean, people can think whatever they want, but at the end of the day, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we have a problem, and I'm curious to see what everybody else thinks.
No, I'd like to hear what people think too. What's the problem? What do they think is causing it? Right? Like, it doesn't do us any good to hear that. Yeah, there's a problem. what do you think's causing it, and can
Right.
it be fixed?
Can it be fixed
And
is the
can
question.
it be fixed, and how do you fix it? Like, what are your suggestions? Because I mean, excuse my language here. You don't want to, we don't want to bitch fest, right?
Right.
We just want to hear, what do you think? What can we do to fix it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's clearly a problem. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, so I think with that, we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
My question to you, Mark, is how can you find us?
Oh boy. Every time. You can find us on YouTube, the Baynet's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right. You can find us on thebaynet.com/podcast.
Right.
You can find us on the Baynet's Facebook page.
Sure
you
can.
can find us on Spotify.
Yes.
I think you said Amazon
Well,
Music.
only
the other
I
way.
just know that by accident, but yes, Amazon Music.
Is
or
that
something
everything?
Like
Did I
or
get 'em
Amazon
all?
Podcast. I think so.
Okay, we're
But-
cool. But either way, you can find us. Just Google us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's a topic that you want, please share with us, right? Like, so
Yeah.
tell us something that you want to talk about. If there's anything you want to hear.
I would love to know, if we have viewers out there, which I think we have a couple.
There's a couple.
But I would love to know what you guys want to hear about, what
Yeah, me
you
too.
want us to get real about. It may be a topic that you and I aren't privy to. We got to bring in another guest.
Right.
So let's do it.
Yeah, I'm into it. So, all right, with that.
Catch you next time.
Catch you next week.
Yeah.